All right, today we are jumping into a really powerful set of practices, and they come from some of the most ancient Buddhist texts. Now, this isn't just abstract philosophy. Think of it as a practical guide for cultivating a mind that's truly free. And it all starts with one single powerful image.
This image, it shows up again and again in the text we're looking at. It's such a perfect metaphor, isn't it? It's all about radical transformation. It's about our ability to consciously shed the parts of ourselves that are old, worn out, and frankly just holding us back from seeing the world with real freedom and clarity.
So, before we go any further, just take a moment with this question. Seriously, what are the patterns, the habits of mind, the old ways of reacting that just feel like a tight, restrictive skin you've totally outgrown? Getting honest about that, well, that's the starting point for this whole journey.
So what exactly is this old skin we're talking about? Well, the good news is these ancient texts are incredibly specific. They don't just leave us with a vague metaphor, they actually pinpoint the exact mental states that keep us feeling bound. And what's so fascinating is how they describe these things. They aren't framed as, moral failings like you're a bad person. Not at all. They're described as tangible burdens. The texts call them fetters that literally shackle us, or a human yoke that we're forced to carry. These things, discontent, thoughts of harming, are the very roots that keep our minds stuck and agitated. Okay, so if those are the problems, what's the solution? What's the fix? Well, the texts lay out this really elegant and direct path to freedom. And it's a practice of actively, and that's the key word, actively cultivating 4 specific positive states of mind. Let's take a look at what they are. Here they are: love, compassion, rejoicing, and equanimity. But look, these aren't just vague, fuzzy feelings that you hope for. The texts treat them as skills to be developed. Think of them like mental muscles that you can actually strengthen. It's a step-by-step process for liberating your own mind. So first up is love, or mettā. And we're talking about a boundless, universal kindness here. It's really important to get this. This is not the romantic love we see in movies. It's a deep, genuine well-wishing for the happiness of all beings. No conditions, no exceptions. Next, we have compassion, or karuṇā. And the texts define this as a very active state. It's about putting down the sword, renouncing violence in both our thoughts and our actions, and really living with a deep sense of care for the suffering of others. Third is rejoicing, or muditā. I love this one. It's so interesting. This is the intentional practice of cultivating joy in the happiness and success of other people. As we're about to see, this is the direct, targeted antidote to feelings like discontent and envy.
And finally, there's equanimity, or upekkhā. This is all about maintaining a balanced, stable mind. The texts describe it as a state where you are not upset by anything in the world. It's this profound inner peace that just isn't shaken by all the inevitable ups and downs of life. Okay, so we know the problem, we know the solution. But how do you actually do it? How does this practice work on a practical level? This is where these texts get so beautifully clear. The practice is called a heart's release. I just love that phrasing. It's not about fighting with your negative thoughts or trying to suppress them. It's about releasing them. It's a method for creating a direct escape by actively replacing a state that binds you with one that liberates you. And this shows exactly how it works. Let's say your mind is occupied by the thought of harming someone. The text says that if you are truly practicing compassion, that thought of harming can't exist at the same time. It's impossible. Why? Because the very act of practicing compassion is the escape from thoughts of harming. It's the specific medicine for that specific problem. And the exact same logic applies to discontent. You just can't be filled with genuine joy for someone else's good fortune while also being completely consumed by your own dissatisfaction. The two states just can't coexist. The heart's release by rejoicing is the escape from discontent. This is the core of the whole practice, a direct, targeted application of these sublime states. So, what's the payoff? What happens if you practice this consistently? What does a mind that has actually shed its old skin look and feel like? Well, the texts paint a very, very clear picture of this liberated state. I mean, just listen to these descriptions. A freed mind has given up those root problems: greed, hate, and delusion. It has burst apart the fetters. It's unyoked from all yokes. You can feel the profound peace here, right?
It's described as being cooled, quenched, and steadfast. It even says you become unafraid at the end of life. I mean, that's the ultimate result of the practice.
Now, this all sounds incredibly profound, and it is, but it's not some unattainable, mystical state that's out of reach. It's a practice that's grounded in our moment-to-moment experience. So how do we bring this into our lives, like right now? And this is maybe the most crucial takeaway. This whole thing isn't about checking out or escaping the challenges of life. It's about fundamentally transforming your inner experience of your life. By cultivating these states, you can become more unshakable, more balanced, more free, no matter what the world happens to be throwing at you. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. You don't have to master all 4 of these at once. Just pick one. What would your day look like if you intentionally practice compassion, even for a little bit? Or what if you actively looked for moments to rejoice in someone else's happiness? What old skin might you start to shed, even in just a single day?